After shutting down temporarily in the United States, TikTok is back in business. President Trump says he'll act to keep the popular app operating in America.
But let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States.
The president is giving ByteDance, the corporate owner of TikTok, a time extension to work out a deal with the U.S. government or sell the business to an American corporation. Well, joining us with more is Young Voices contributor and political analyst Sam Rouse. Sam, it's good to have you with us. So Donald Trump opposed TikTok operating in the U.S. initially because of the security risks it poses mining private data. And now he's proposing joint U.S. ByteDance ownership. So that's what communist China does. So what do you think of that proposal?
I think it's rather unrealistic. Would be something the United States has never done before. And I mean, that's not to say that Trump hasn't done things that the United States has never done before. But I think what's much more likely is the president will pursue an extension of the law on the basis that some friends in the business community clearly are seeking some sort of acquisition of the platform. I know there's a number of rumors swirling around Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, of course, are already in the social media space, and a number of others. I mean, this is a huge platform, has a lot of influence on society, and it's something a lot of people are very interested in.
But what about the U.S. government? I mean, that would be unprecedented, wouldn't it, for the U.S. government to actually be involved in social media that way?
Yeah, it really would. And I think it would raise so many concerns across the board from people of both parties and of all sorts of ideologies, just because of the role in which we saw the government play in influencing social media during the COVID lockdown and what has now came out in a number of interviews about what the Biden administration did during those times. I think it would give a lot of cause for concern from people from, as far right as maybe a Rand Paul to as far left as an AOC of why is the United States government getting involved in this private sector space?
And people speculate that Trump's son, Barron, convinced his dad that he could use TikTok to his benefit in the presidential campaign. He probably won a lot of votes for posting videos and ads there. So what influence do you think Barron and Gen Z voters had in changing the president's mind about TikTok?
Well, I certainly think that he saw a big uptick in support among my generation, and that has weighed in on this decision. I think we saw quickly after, as the shutdown was looming, as it came in, a number of his younger influencer base, which seem to be some of his main spokespeople now, speaking out against it and criticizing this much older Congress for passing this bill, completely ignoring all the national security concerns about it, but just raising their concerns about the level of influence and, the role it plays in their careers. And so I think that has definitely weighed in on his consideration. I think he wants to be seen as cool and popular among a broad swath of people, particularly young people. And that's been a challenge for him so far. So I think that he sees this as an advantage. But I've already seen so many people speak out against this ban and say that this was performative, that this is just him trying to get a win when clearly it has nothing to do with him. And I think it's getting really in the weeds of a lot of he said, she said, and not really focusing on the primary concerns, which has to do with communist China's influence through ByteDance.
Well, is it really about money? Because a lot of people make a lot of money on TikTok, and I know a lot of young Americans are unconcerned, it seems, about the security threat that TikTok poses to the United States. What do you say to them about it?
I think that we aren't seeing the forest for the trees on this issue. Look, I think, there's obviously people have built entire careers off these platforms. They are able to do very successful marketing campaigns, but this isn't a world that's limited to this platform. It's not like this idea of short form video is just going to go away. There's already other platforms that offer this. These people generally build, a reputation and an image across platforms and have followers across them. But what's really the bigger cause for concern is the role in which China's corporate governance structure gives them so much power over ByteDance, both access to the information that the application collects from us, which is one concern, but really I think the bigger concern is the level of influence that they are able to have over the content that's displayed on it. And we saw this after October 7th and the attacks on Israel. We've seen this during a number of hurricanes and the most recent wildfires, that TikTok quickly sends out information that completely distorts reality. It pits us against one another. It really polarizes the country with a lot of just complete nonsense information amid big, serious, natural disasters, national emergencies. And no one's talking about that. Nobody seems to care about how much we are being divided and confused by this platform. There's certainly concerns across that all over the internet, but I think that TikTok has been proven by the intelligence community to do that the most. And there's a big difference between Americans being misquoted on meta platforms and the Chinese Communist Party trying to shape our worldviews. I think those are in two very separate camps.
That's the big difference. Sam Rouse, Young Voices contributor, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.